Hey guys, it's Bruce. Welcome to ConvoCourses, where we talk about cybersecurity, risk management framework, governance, risk, and compliance. Once I do this once a week, and today I'm not going to get into politics. All right, this is not this is not about politics, and regretfully, I've the name is going to probably bring a whole bunch of trolls and stuff, and but I feel like I need to talk about it. And I just want to say that my fate is in my own hands. It's not in any administration's hands. It's not in Obama's hands. It's not in Trump's hands. It's not in Biden's hands, Kamala's hands. It's in my hands. My fate, the fate of my career, is in my own hands in the actions that I take. I would argue that the same thing applies to you. So, regardless of who's in office, regardless of who's in the administration, you're the master of your own fate, right? I just noticed like people are getting really emotional about it, about this whole thing. Really emotional thinking that the president's going to be a savior, and real emotional thinking that it's the end of the world. And neither one of those things are true. Your fate is in your own hands. Your destiny is in your own hands. And I'll just give you an example. I started doing IT in the year 2000, 20 years ago, over 20 years ago now, right? That's 5 presidents. Now we're about to have 6 presidents. And in that time, like 2000, that was President Clinton. I was in the military at that time. And that's when those are formative years for me. That's when I cross trained from being physical security into cybersecurity and IT. And in there, I did networking, I did help desk, I did certification and accreditation. I did a whole bunch of formative things that if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. And that was during the Clinton administration. And then I got out of the military in around 2003, and that was Bush administration. I worked for Northrop Grumman. I worked for SAIC, and then I went back to Northrop Grumman Aerospace, right, and doing all IT stuff. And I remember I was about to move jobs from Northrop Grumman to some other job, and at the time, Obama had just won the election. He just won, and I remember my boss took me in his office and he says, "Hey, I understand you're about to leave." And he says, you might not want to do that because this new guy who's coming in office, Obama, is about to cut the military down by like 15%. He's about to take some of the budget away. So you get out there, it's going to be really hard for you to find a job. And he was just looking out for me, right? I'm a really good worker. I take care of business. So he was looking out for me. But in his mind, it was the end of the world because this dude, Obama, is about to come into office. And I did great under Obama. Like I went on to work for a small company. I was teaching for like a year. And then I went on to I worked for the Army as a contractor. And I did really well. That was the first time I made 6 figures. And then, fast forward into 2017 when Trump first got in office, and I worked for aerospace again. I went back, start working for NASA. My my point is, I at any no point did my career go down. It just kept getting better. It's because this career path is evergreen. And if I go all the way back, rewind to when I first got out of the military, it was the same thing. When I got out of the military, I was a super hard worker. I'm always getting stuff done. And so when I was about to get out of the military, my boss took me in his office, the captain. He said, "Look, man, you might not, sergeant, you might not want to get out right now because, this or that and the third is happening with the economy outside." And I was just fine. I was fine getting out of the military. I was fine during the Bush administration, during the Obama administration, during the Trump administration, and even now, it hasn't stopped. I haven't. That was during COVID. That was during 9/11. That was during several wars. That was during a divorce in my own life. um, I've been doing all right. My point is, uh, this is an evergreen career path. Cybersecurity and governance, risk and compliance, IT. It's not going to be forever. Nothing lasts forever, right? So at some point, the gravy train is probably going to dry up or change or something. But I'm telling you, this career path has been golden, and I just don't think I'm gonna focus on some of the changes that I think might happen with administration. But what you'll see as a pattern, whereas governance, risk, and compliance, cybersecurity is really dictated by the market, not by the government, not by administrations, not by feelings. It's moved by what happens rather than what people want to happen. So